Everyone, this is Amber from Guidance Through Gaia, and I just got my card deck club box from Hay House, so we're gonna open it up today. Perfect timing because I was going to do a video tonight, and before I get to that pick a card reading, I want to see what we're getting, so that maybe like I can use one of the decks in there. So excited! Honestly, this is the first day in like 3 days that I've gotten dressed up. And because I had to be off of work for 5 days since I had COVID. And then I went back Friday. And then I had a 3-day weekend. So I go back to work tomorrow, which I'm kind of excited about, kind of not. But mostly I've just been at home like chilling, playing My Time at Portia because I love little farming sims. I think I'm gonna marry Oaks, you know, the dude who was like raised by a bear, because that would be dope. I've also been watching a lot of K-dramas. Like I finished what was the one that I finished? I finished Sell Your Haunted House, and I'm just about to finish Guardian, the Great and Lonely God. If you're interested in K-dramas, I would highly recommend downloading Viki, which not sponsored because I'm not cool enough for sponsors, but they have a lot of like free television you can watch, of like different kinds of Asian television. And then there are a couple of subscription options. Like there's a lower tier where you can watch, like you get extra content, like extra shows. And then the top tier, which is what I purchased, where you can watch like anything that's available on Viki. Cause like I've been stuck at home because someone stole my debit card information, and so like I really haven't been able to do much, which is kind of a blessing. I couldn't buy anything other than essentials, like cause I can do like Instacart if I need anything specific. And then I got some of my bills already paid, and this was already paid for before we had that issue, but someone decided to buy some clothes. So I hope that they're using those for like a posh job opportunity. Yeah. Well, let's get into it. So we have this little pamphlet. It says, "My light attracts light." And to clarify, like this is not a sponsor either. I just think that it's really cool to share this. I know this was way back in the day, my like most popular video before I started doing 18 plus readings. And I just think it's really cool to share these decks and get opinions on them and see what's out there and, do it together. So I think this is all the information that was on there. Oh, well, it includes some of the decks. Oh, wait a minute. Did I get 3? Okay. Oh, okay. So if this is something you are interested in, there's gotta be information. I forget where there's information. Ooh, it says watch out for the next box in March, filled with sacred medicine, an oracle for your pocket, and even a deck for curious kitties. I'll have to find the information and just like put it in the description box, just in case like this is something that you're interested in, because you get several items that are worth, like, you pay less than what you pay for like if you were to go to a store and purchase a deck separately. So once again, we got these little crinkle cut pieces of paper. And so we're starting off with an oracle card journal. This is really beautiful, and I am obsessed with journals. There are a few things that I collect needlessly. Journals is one of them. Water bottles is also another one of them. And there was this comic that I just saw online that was like, hey, or no, maybe it was, I think it was from Java Doodles, where it was like, hey, I'm your emotional support water bottle. Please wash me. And I felt that to my core. I really like the design on this. It's got this beautiful depiction of a lotus flower, which I have really identified with the past several months because the lotus flower symbolizes like overcoming adversity and developing into something beautiful and strong. It says a daily practice for igniting your insight, intuition, and magic, and it is created by Colette Baron Reed. It says reclaim your magical connection to the universe with the draw of a card. In this guided journal, you will explore the mystical power of oracle cards beyond predictions. Through this 40-day practice, you'll discover what you're made of, develop your powers of intuition, and identify the myriad ways the universe engages you, guides you, and illuminates your way forward. You are invited now to step into the awareness of co-creator rather than passive observer. You have the capacity and responsibility to shape reality in the best way possible, regardless of what challenges life brings. Colette Baron Reed is an internationally respected oracle expert, spiritual intuitive, and leading voice in the field of personal transformation and spirituality. Her best-selling books and oracle cards are published worldwide in 27 languages. She is the founder of Oracle School, a global online learning experience with students in 36 countries where personal transformation meets modern oracles. And her website is www.colettebaronreed.com. So it's COLETTEBARONREID.com. So that's very exciting. You know, I know a lot of people like shit on oracle cards, and I don't think it's deserving of that. Like, if you don't want to use oracle cards in your reading, then you're not obligated to. But I just feel that oracle cards are really, they provide a lot of supplementary information. And so if you're someone who uses oracle cards, don't let any other reader sit there and make you feel less powerful, less talented for the fact that you use oracle cards. And I love oracle cards because they can be like any kind of topic. You know, with tarot, I love tarot too. And I love how diverse tarot decks can be. But generally speaking, the majority of tarot decks are based upon like two what would you call it? Formats, I guess, like the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which is what a large portion of tarot decks are based off of, and then the Lenormand deck, which I've never had the opportunity to explore, but I know it's also really popular, and it's a little bit more, I think, difficult to use from my understanding. But oracle cards, like, can deliver messages at what in a way, in whatever way they're designed to. And there was something else I was gonna say. One thing I really like about this is it talks about stepping into the awareness of co-creator rather than passive observer. And that's really why, like, I was drawn to spirituality. I didn't feel that in my previous religious experience that was an option for me. I felt like I had to be considered like this servant, someone who was at the whim of something else, and that's not going to be everybody's experience with religion. Some people, if they do have that experience, are really comfortable with that experience, but I've always kind of been like, I've always had a problem with authority. So feeling like being able to feel like I'm a co-creator of my experience and of my reality is something that I take a lot of pride in and that I value a lot. So we'll just quickly kind of skim through this, see what it's like. It starts off with purple. And it has, oh, I like this. In a relationship between you and the mystery, the great god, goddess, and you and the divine living planet, there is a sacred relationship where trust is never broken. Only you can break it by forgetting who you are, a spirit in temporary human form. There's also like a magical invitation, and I'm only going to read this part because, I don't know, just, you have been chosen for what you are seeking is also seeking you. I think that's exceptionally beautiful. And we go through more like little quotes here, an explanation of the benefit of journaling. Kind of more explanations about why she created this and why she feels drawn to oracle cards. Background in oracle and divinations, how it can relate to self-care. Oh, okay. There's a lot of explanation that I think will be great insight for anybody who's like a beginner in oracle cards or divination, or even someone who's like an expert. I think that the exchange of information is always really important because sometimes we can learn things from somebody else that we may not have considered previously. Then you have like some free pages here to kind of journal about how you will use this, how it will connect you with the higher power, how this process helps to reveal a person's innate potential and purpose. And then it says the 40-day process, which is just a layout of a recommended routine. So it looks, this is definitely encouraging more than just like pulling out an oracle and like interpreting it, but really really trying to figure out how it applies to your life, and taking a deeper meaning from it. And then this is what it looks like on the inside. We've got the card info, the date, location, first impressions, write and draw what the card means to you. And it says, what is being revealed today for my highest good? And that's just repeated. And so it's interesting because you could potentially, like, if you were using the same deck for all of these pages, like you could potentially pull out the same card multiple times, and it'd be interesting to kind of see how you interpreted that card differently based upon it being like a different day. Or you could use like a different deck multiple times. Then day 40 says, pause and reflect. Always remember that you have the capacity and responsibility to shape reality in the best way possible, regardless of what challenges life brings. And I think that's really important to remember, especially as somebody like who believes in something higher. It can be very comforting to have faith that everything happens for a reason, or that something out there knows answers that we don't know, or that everything will come, at the right time. But I also feel that it's really important for us to consciously balance that energy with also a sense of responsibility for our own experience. Sometimes we have to make things happen. Sometimes things that we want to happen aren't going to happen. Sometimes we have to choose a different route. And if we become too reliant upon waiting for the universe to put us on this path, then we're not really living life, and we're just sitting around sorry, we're sitting around waiting for something. And I don't think that's like ever what the universe wants. It wants us to be active. It wants us to participate. It wants us to make decisions for ourselves. Yeah, and then it just looks like it's got some further blank pages to reflect upon. So that's really exciting. I cannot wait to start using this. Like I needed another journal. Ooh. Okay, so now we're getting into these. Let's see. So this is a 48 card deck with a guidebook that says Raise Your Vibration Oracle by Kyle Gray, artwork by Ari Wisner. This is apparently a brand new release and was just released this month, November of 2022. And it says, in every moment, you can make a choice to raise your vibration and take the opportunity to align your life with purpose and energy. This 48 card deck is a powerful tool to help you activate your intuition, harness universal wisdom, and attract positive experiences into your everyday. Kyle Gray, using pronouns he, him, is a spiritual teacher, the best-selling author of 8 books, and the co-creator of 6 oracle decks. And you can find him at raiseyourbvibration.com. Ari Wisner, who uses they, them pronouns, is a queer artist, illustrator, and designer. Ari is the creator of the Transient Light Tarot and Trinity Tarot decks, and you can find them at ariwisner.com. And in USD, this is priced at $21.99. In Canadian dollars, it's $28.99. First of all, I absolutely love the fact that we have a queer artist like represented this month. I know a lot of people get upset by like pronouns, and they, first of all, I'm gonna say this. For people who want to sit there and go, there are only 2 genders. Like, that's basic biology. First of all, high school biology is not all-encompassing, thank you very much. It is an introduction to biology. Okay, so I don't know what school is like in a lot of other countries, but in America, they just kind of throw all the subjects at you and make you learn a little bit about each one. And then if you decide to go into college, that's when you delve more deeply into it. In high school, you can like take extracurriculars or go higher up in a curriculum of a certain subject if you would like, but college is really where they're going to have you focus on certain subjects. Okay. So, and it is like scientifically and psychologically accepted that gender is a construct of the mind and sex is the physical biological construct. And even then, like, I don't know, I'm so passionate about this. Like, someone identifying as a gender that they do not appear to be, or a gender that was like that appears to contrast like with their assigned at birth gender, like sex, like that doesn't affect anybody else. Okay, it really, like, let people be happy, let them be themselves. And if someone thinks that another person being miserable because they do not feel that their body and their identity represents who they truly are, if because they're like adhering to social expectations, like if if that's the better way for the person to live, instead of, okay, being a little bit different than what society normally expects, but being happy with themselves, like, whoever thinks that, they need to straighten out their priorities. And the fact that, like, that we have representation here. I am a cisgendered female. I am part of the LGBTQ plus because I'm pansexual, but I'm cisgendered. Like, I was born with female genitalia. My mind says I'm a female. But I understand, like, how important it is for people who are non-binary to see themselves. It's validating, and it's not like shoving anything down anybody's throat. No, people in the, like, we've done enough of that over the centuries with this whole traditional bullshit. Like, there's only one way to live. This is the religion you have to practice. This is how you have to have a family unit. This is how you have to present yourselves. No, we're done with that. We're throwing out that, okay? So, we have Raise Your Vibration Oracle Guidebook. I love this. And it's kind of cool now knowing that, like, the artist is a queer artist, so you see the rainbow. It says this oracle is a powerful spiritual tool to support you in embracing your purpose and living a high vibration life. Discover how to reflect on the innate wisdom of your heart and soul, activate the flow of your spiritual energy centers, and bring high vibes into everything you do. Each vibrant card will empower you to unlock infinite intelligence from within and increase your frequency of positive energy for yourself, those around you, and the wider world. Let the simple yet powerful messages provoke confirmation, affirmation, and light as you do the inner work and raise your vibration. So it looks to me like it's pretty similar to other guidebooks. I mean, as most of them would be. It has a table of contents. But it's interesting. It says interpretations of the cards. And so it has them all broken down into, like, little categories. Where, like, it'll say ground, and then it has 4 cards. Abundance is a state of mind. I'm grateful for the earth. The world is blessed to have you. You are not alone. Flow. Come home to your body. It's okay to feel what you need to feel. My sexuality is sacred. Your sensitivity is a gift. Ignite, receive, express, see, etc., etc. Then it has an A to Z list of cards, which is very cool. An introduction, how these cards work. Oh. 4 pillars. Interesting. Align your energies to these 4 pillars whenever you are doing any spiritual work. They are authenticity, devotion, love, and service. And they get into, like, descriptions of those. Interpretations of the cards. Okay. So, for instance, when they get to the first category, which is ground, it says root chakra, red. And it goes into the importance of the root chakra, what it means, what it governs, and the purpose of, like, the root chakra cards. And so you'll have the first one, abundance is a state of mind. And then it goes into the description, and each one, it looks like, has a vibe of the day. So for this one, it says, I am rich in blessings, inspiration, and people I love. And then, like, flow goes into the sacral chakra, which is orange. Receive is the heart chakra, which is green. Express, throat chakra, blue. This is very interesting. And then we get into integrate, earth star, copper. I've never heard of this. The earth star is found around 6 to 12 feet or 1.8 to 3.6 meters for anybody who is not one of the 3 countries that uses the imperial measuring system. This is America. We don't do change. Below the feet, it's visualized as a copper Merkaba, a three-dimensional star. It is one of the higher chakras that become available to us when our vibration is raised through the ascent of the Kundalini. It is a holding space and anchor that reminds us why we have chosen to incarnate upon the earth and how we can master our spiritual gifts during this lifetime. It's like an inner earth that holds all of the earthly wisdom that has been gathered over millennia. And then it goes further into it. Okay. Manifest, the stellar gateway crystal. What I love about these is like, with guidebooks kind of in general, when they include things like this, I think it really helps a lot of us learn about different aspects that we may not be as familiar with in a way that is like organic. And especially if you're someone who learns through like the process of doing, like I do myself, like I learn through repetition. I'm not much of a visual learner, okay. Auditory learner, no. Like I can't just hear something and then know how to do it. But it can be overwhelming when you are learning about different systems, like the chakra systems, or like, you know, about different crystals or astrology or yada, yada, yada. And so to have tools that you're using consistently that also implement and provide knowledge about those systems, I think is really helpful for those. Like, so then you don't feel like you have to sit there and you have to read a book about everything. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love reading a book, but it's kind of a supplementary way to learn if you want to. So we've got, this is the back of the card. So that must have been that Earth Star chakra thing that they were talking about. And this is, it's so beautiful. And then we've got like this rainbow here. And this reminds me just of like the solar system, you know, like the, I don't know, like when you see the paths of like rotations and stuff for the planets. And the art on this is very beautiful. So like this is abundance as a state of mind. And I feel like the font on this is pretty easy to read, and like the pattern is simple, but it's really eye-catching. So like you've got these rubies. I am grateful for the earth. Yeah, so your sensitivity is a gift. Let your inner fire warm you, not burn you. So I do really like these. I feel like these are a really decent size. Like, because some oracle cards, like, they're bigger, and so it can be harder to shuffle them, and they can feel really cumbersome. Honesty is the best policy, but I feel like these are a really appropriate size for hands and like working with them. I feel like the art is gorgeous, but it's not like, it doesn't detract from messages that are being expressed on the cards. I also feel that the fonts are really attractive, but they aren't difficult to read. And the cardstock is nice. Like, it's a matte cardstock, which I prefer. I don't really, I mean, I like glossy cards, but I would prefer cards to be more matte if possible. And the quality of the cardstock is really nice. Like, it's thick, but it's not like heavy thick. So yeah, overall, I'm really enjoying these, and I really, feeling fear is a call for love. I am excited to use them in a video. All right. So, this is cool. Vibe so high, your aura becomes a magnet to blessings. The box has like a little saying on it too. And high vibes for me are high vibes for we. Now it's important to remember, like, we don't want to give into like toxic positivity. Like it's healthy to acknowledge when we're having negative emotions, and it's healthy to process them, but we don't want to dwell on them and allow them to consume us. All right, and now we have the Archangel Michael, Sword of Light Oracle. And it looks like this one is a new release, with it being released in October of this year, 2022. And it's a 44 card deck and guidebook. I'm going to butcher this name. Created by Radley Valentine, illustrations by Echo Chernick. This kind of gives me like, I don't know, like 80s vibes. Like 80s fantasy novel vibes. It says, discover the many faces and gifts of Archangel Michael and deepen your connection with the angels in this magical deck from best-selling author Radley Valentine. Use these cards daily to gain divine insights into your relationships, career, life purpose, and more. Allow Archangel Michael to use his sword of light to cut through everything holding you back and guide you toward the brilliant life of light and love you so fully deserve. So in the US, this is priced at $24.99. In Canada, it's $33.99. So, I mean, we've saved, let's see, so that's like 17 USD. That's almost $40. So we'd say, let's round this up to like 65. I think you're saving at least like 20 bucks. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for this, but I do believe it's like you're saving about 20 bucks. I'm not someone who works with angels terribly often. I know like Aso Tarot is really knowledgeable about angels. But, okay, fun story. So I was hit by a car when I was 17. Okay, I was walking across the street. My car had, I didn't know at the time, but the fuel pump was like giving out, and so it wasn't accelerating. And so I made it down this hill and parked in the turning lane of this residential road. And I didn't have my cell phone with me, so I was going to walk across the street to the laundromat to use their phone. I don't remember that. I remember getting out of my car, and I remember getting on the sidewalk and looking over and seeing this guy in front of the apartments looking at me while he was on his bike, and I was just really upset that day. And I was like, what? Has he never seen somebody like with their car break down before? The next thing I remember is like waking up on a stretcher, being put into an ambulance, being told, you've been involved in a car pedestrian accident. Do you understand what that means? And thinking to myself, I know what car means, I know what pedestrian means, and I know what accident means, so why the hell can't I figure out what they're telling me? And then passing back out. What happened was, it was night. From what they told me, I was walking on a do not walk signal, and there was the girl who hit me was 16. She was with a friend, and she was trying to run a yellow light so that she could make it home before curfew. And that is an intersection in Rapid City, South Dakota, where there are a lot of accidents. And unfortunately, a lot of people have died at that intersection from car accidents. Many of them alcohol related. Like there's several like why die signs at it. The intersection at that, like the light at that time didn't turn automatically. I remember telling them like, I always thought that like it was supposed to just go on its own. And so they did end up changing it. But it was a decently lit area, but I could understand like how if I was just like walking when she wasn't expecting it, and she was also distracted by trying to make sure she got home on time, how she like ran into me. I guess I flew up on her hood, hit the windshield of her car with my head and cracked it, and then fell to the ground. I was very fortunate. I had a concussion, a torn ligament in my right knee that still gives me problems every once in a while, and then some scrapes and bruises, but otherwise I was fine. I went home that night. There was a cop that saw everything to an extent. Like, he saw her like swerve with her car and then get out, so he thought she was just having car problems, but then realized like she hit me. I remember my mom telling me, like, she's on the phone with somebody and she was like, Amber, do you remember anything before like being in the stretcher? And I remember feeling like really annoyed, hey, and going like, thinking like, no, obviously not, otherwise I would have said it. But you know, as I was in the process of being like thinking this grumpy thought, I had this flashback, and in this flashback I was laying on my side facing the wheels of the car. And I remember there was like this woman, she must have been like in her mid-20s to like early 30s, and she had this beautiful curly hair, and she was just glowing this radiant golden aura. And I could hear myself talk, because it was like I wasn't in control of what I was saying. It was like I couldn't do anything. And it was like hearing myself from inside a fish tank. And I remember looking at her and telling her, wow, you're really pretty. And I remember she smiled at me, and it was this huge, like, just this beautiful smile, like a mother that's looking at a child that, you know, she's so proud of. And I passed back out. It could have been a passerby, but I mean, I don't think it was one of the girls that was in the vehicle, because she looked older. I don't think it was an EMT, because like her hair was down and she wasn't in a uniform. It wasn't the cop was a male. Could also have been from, you know, head trauma, like my brain just creating a scenario that never happened. But I don't know. I think she was my guardian angel, and I think she saved me from being in like a worse accident. So, and I think her name is Isabella. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So, it says, discover the many faces and gifts of Archangel Michael and deepen your connection with the angels in this magical deck from best-selling author Radleigh Valentine. Was this the same? Yeah, it's the same. Never mind. Radleigh Valentine has traveled the globe, sharing his expertise about how we can all work with the angels. He has been featured at spiritual events in England, Germany, Austria, Australia, and Canada, and in major cities across the US. Catch up with Radleigh each week online, where he brings his own unique mix of glitter, love, and heartfelt honesty to angel followers everywhere at www.radleighvalentine.com. So that's RadleighValentine.com. And it should be noted that the cover, even though, well then, okay, so the cover design is by Bryn Star Best. Oh, I don't know. And the cover illustration is by Echo Chernik. So that's Radleigh Valentine. Look at that dashing fellow. Oh, I thought he had a mustache, but no, I was just wrong. Looks like he has several different angel oracle decks. This is a gentleman who appears to primarily focus on angels. And then it's dedicated to Archangel Michael, by him, with him, especially for you. So it's interesting that this seems to be all about like Archangel Michael instead of just like the angels in general. It has the table of contents. Greetings to all seekers and seers. I have been communicating with angels since I was a young boy, and it has been one of my life's greatest blessings. I believe that everyone is meant to have this magical conduit to the divine, this breathtaking, awe-inspiring connection with beings that are the literal incarnation of unconditional love. These oracle cards will help you develop and deepen your own angelic communications with Archangel Michael as your guide. Michael is often referred to in literature as a warrior angel, a term he has repeatedly told me he doesn't care for. The intention of this oracle is for you to experience the fullness of his nature beyond your expectations. He wants you to see his sword of light not as a tool of violence, but of freedom. You'll come to know him as the archangel of safety, protection, and life purpose, while also discovering the many other gifts he has to offer. I think it's very interesting because there are some people who do take this very like gentle approach with interpretations of angels. And then there are some people who feel that there's also like a certain harshness that we have to kind of accept about them. That some angels, such as Archangel Michael, aren't necessarily like the fluffy, lovey angels, but like they're dignified and they're fighters and they're warriors. So it's interesting to see, like, you know, different interpretations of them. And it says, all these oracle messages were channeled from Archangel Michael, and their essence was interpreted by the fantastic illustrator Echo Chernik in an Art Nouveau style, evocative of stained glass. Her portrayals of Michael expand our expectations of him beyond the historical, artistic depictions of a beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed man with a sword and armor that highlight his warlike side. Okay, so that's actually, that makes me wonder about things too. Like the fact, I'm glad he brings that up, like a blonde-haired, blue-eyed man. Okay, so a lot of like Christian depictions are of like white people, but like life originated in Africa. So the first, like Adam and Eve, were not white. They weren't. And then we have Jesus, who was Hebrew. Jesus wasn't white either. And so that makes that, I've always kind of wondered, like, so, I mean, there are the depictions of the angels where they're just like a bunch of eyes orbiting, you know, like, be not afraid. But for the, like, if they could, if they did have like a human form or humanoid form, like, would they be white or not? Or would they change, like, based upon, like, what a person expected them to look like? Whether that's, like, as something small as, like a skin color, or something drastic as, like, you know, maybe they don't look like a human at all. Like, yeah, I think we need to appreciate, too, that, you know, people in the Bible were people of color. Like, it's just how it is. And this deck, you'll discover a Michael of different ages, genders, body types, and ethnicities. Oh, I like that. Emphasizing that his power is open to all. If you're not sure whether the figure you're seeing is him, look for his blue aura, sword of light, or M sigil. His sapphire blue light illuminates his presence on each card, reminding you that angelic signs and support can come in an array of manifestations, not just winged and haloed. If I could give you just one gift, just one piece of absolute magic after my 30 plus years of exploring the divine, it would be the conviction of your heart, in your heart, that your angels adore you, and that what your angels want more than anything in the universe is to talk to you, help you, and walk with you throughout your life, with you on the journey, Radley. And then it has like words of welcome from Archangel Michael, and like the mission statements. How to use this oracle deck. Has a, looks like it also, like most oracle decks, has different spreads, like the sword of light cutting to the core of the truth. The sword of light illuminating your life purpose. And then it goes into the advice from Archangel Michael. Like, let's see, 25, put your creative energy into action. Oh, and this is interesting because it has a segment from Michael and then a segment from Gabriel. And so Michael says, you are at a point in your life where you need to be creative. I've been giving you this message repeatedly because it relates to your life purpose. However, it may seem difficult to find inspiration or the motivation to act upon it. I will use my sword of light to remove your self-doubts and any energetic blocks to your creativity. Also, my sister Archangel Gabriel, Gabrielle, is the perfect one to help you right now. Gabrielle, I am the Archangel of creativity, communication, and motivation. I can help you create beautiful works of art, communicate your vision with the perfect words in writing or public speaking, and most importantly, feel the impulse to get it done. Whenever you need a brilliant stroke of inspiration or someone to give you a little angelic push, I'm here for you. Let me blow my copper trumpet to fire up your passion and help you make amazing creations. Okay, so not all of them have messages that are like relayed by the angels themselves. Like some of them are just descriptions, it looks like, of the card. But there's also, with Regain Your Focus, a message from Michael and Metatron. And it's so sad. Like, I grew up Christian, but we didn't really, being non-denominational and then like attending Wesleyan and Methodist churches, like we didn't really talk about the angels a lot. So like I don't know a whole lot about Michael and Uriel and Gabriel or Gabrielle or Metatron, and what I do know most of, like, is from Supernatural. So like as I'm reading these, I'm having these pictures of like the trickster as Angel Gabriel, you know, and that one dude as Metatron, who was just like a dick. So, and it has about the author, how about the artist. So I'm really excited for this. Like and I like the fact that it's like in an Art Nouveau style. Okay, this is cute. Like, so we have these this blue background, and then the sword, and then like this M sigil. We also have a butterfly here, which I think is very, very interesting. I'm curious, like, if I read more about, like, in the guidebook, if there's a mention of the butterfly. Because I know butterflies can talk about messages and change. And, oh my gosh, these are so beautiful. So, for example, all is in perfect timing. This is it. It's time to take action now. I will be here to help you every step of the way. Like, look how beautiful this card is. There's this depiction of Archangel Michael, which it kind of makes me think of like an 80s action cartoon. Like, is that He-Man? And then there's also this one. It's like boy band version, Archangel Michael. Oh. And this woman who's being wrapped by Archangel Michael's light. And he has a ring just so you can identify him. Ah! Okay, yeah. And then we've got a black Archangel Michael. Oh, this is where the butterfly kind of comes in. Archangel Michael is a butterfly because it's talking about change coming. These are really beautiful. Ooh, get your power back. I like that, especially that it's an older lady because, you know, as you get older, especially working in like healthcare in a long-term care facility, I see a lot of people who struggle with feeling frustrated or feeling insecure because they may not have the same capabilities that they had when they were younger. But that doesn't mean you're less powerful. Like, your power just may manifest in a different way. I love that. An Asian Archangel Michael. Yeah. These are like really beautiful. Oh. This is interesting too. Because isn't it Egyptian mythology where your heart is weighed against the weight of a feather? Because it's all about like guilt. And so if your heart is like heavier than the feather, then that means that you hold guilt. Yeah, I love these. These are a little slippery. I like the size. Because they're glossy, and I think that's my main problem with glossy cards is they can be kind of slippery sometimes. But the artwork is absolutely beautiful, and I appreciate the fact that they have the artwork above. And because this is a card that like a deck that uses more descriptions on the card, that they have, yes, kind of continued the artwork a little bit below, but they've blurred it more, and then have a really readable font, and it's in a location that makes reading it accessible. I like the fact that it's also consistent, and so it makes me think of the Marauders map. The way forward is open. Makes me think of a very professional appearance. So I'm really happy with these decks. I'm so excited to use them. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I know someone had commented that they were gonna do a card like a box reveal, an unboxing. I meant to get their name down so I could tell them that I was going to come check out their video, but I forgot. I'm sorry. I was just so excited. So I'm going to go check that out. I'm going to process this on YouTube and let me know what you think. Bye.